You might be preparing for a variety of types of events or outings with your family, birthday party at one of your siblings' homes, or a larger event at a community hall, familiarizing yourself with the setting ahead of time. This will give you a good sense of where quiet spaces might be, where you can go with your child to take breaks or decompress. Have an idea of the schedule of the day. Practice ahead of time for things like preparing your child that everyone will sing, and then there's going to be a period of time where we're waiting for the cake to be cut so that they know that won't happen right away. Additionally, if there are birthday gifts, that's sometimes difficult for young children to understand why one child might be receiving a gift and they may not be. Consider different things. Maybe the host will give you the little prize or party bag earlier in the day so that your child has toys to open and play with as well. Or you can bring a small special toy that they can interact with while the other child is opening their gifts. Some other things to think about: are there pets in the home? What are the rules for interaction around that pet? And is your child familiar with how to interact with animals appropriately? That's something that's a good idea to talk to your host about in advance. Manage and set those things up for success from the outset. When I'm looking for a quiet space to go, explore something like an office or a playroom or a quiet corner in the hall if you're at a community center. Sometimes it can be as simple as pulling a couple chairs close together and putting a jacket or a blanket over top so that your child can kind of decompress, take breaks frequently and regularly, and you can even set a timer to check in on your child periodically if it's a busier, faster moving event with grown-ups in one area, kids in another. This can be a good way to nudge yourself to make sure your child's still enjoying themselves and not finding the interaction too overwhelming. If your child has special dietary restrictions, talk with your host about what meals are going to be served. It's important to come back to what your hope is for the event and what your main goal is. The goal really isn't about your child enjoying a specific meal or trying a new food. Bring a familiar food or beverage that's comfortable and familiar for them while they focus on the main point of the day, which is spending time with loved ones and making new friends and memories. Know the rules in advance. If it's a household where you have to have shoes on, or if you're not allowed to touch certain items, you could put visuals out to remind them of the expectations when they're in that setting, and also communicate clearly around the consequences if certain rules aren't able to be followed. If there are a number of breakable items in the home and the child's struggling to keep their hands from those items, you can make a decision to leave when that does occur, and you can communicate that in advance. If you're getting to know new friends in your community and they don't know you or your child as well, speak with your host about some of your child's needs and ask for help being introduced to some of the other grown-ups or older children that are in the setting. Explain some ways to help interact with your child. This can be a great way to empower others to interact with your child and to know what to expect. It's important to consider leaving on a high note when an event's going well. There's not really a necessity to stay the full length of an event. You don't have to be the last one to leave. Consider talking with your host in advance that you're going to stay and enjoy yourself as long as you're able to, and as long as your child is enjoying themselves. Maybe after the cake is served or after you've been able to visit the people that you wanted to see most. By ending on a high note, you're going to feel confident and successful in attending that event and more likely to try it out again next time.